What's up guys, welcome to the channel. Today I'm gonna show you how to do a timing belt on this nice low mileage commemorative edition SRT4. Like always, I'm not used to doing videos like a how-tos or whatever, so I already started on it, but I'm gonna tell you what to do. So far I removed the harmonic balancer. I use this tool from Mac Tools. That's the part number. Of course, you need these two things. It's a whole set. If you don't have it, you can rent it. Not the exact same one, but you can rent one like this on AutoZone. Anyways, so pretty much you have this thing right here. Of course, you have to take the alternator belt, which is a 15 millimeter nut, and then on the back of the alternator you have the, I don't know if you can see it, but it's a 13 bolt right here. You're gonna loose that up, hold the belt, you're good to go. On the other side, we got this one right here. It's a 15, and it's a tensioner. Remove the tensioner, remove the belt, you're good to go. So the way you do this, you take the 19 bolt out, you pull the tool like that, and then you run your little stopper or whatever you want to call it. So whenever you hit it with the impact on the bolt, you want to make sure you move it so it won't come off, because this thing will pop up. So you want to make sure that you have pressure on here so it can grab. So you can see it grabs like almost at the end. If not, you can always put something in between here to make pressure. So you can put something there and then hit it with the impact. So I'm draining the coolant because I'm doing also the water pump. So you know, I'm gonna drain the coolant, put some new one. I disconnect the bottom mount just on this side, take the bolt. I took the bolt in the middle mount, and for that one, if you have the OEM bolt, you're gonna need a Torx 55. That's what you're gonna need for that one. The one on here is a, let me check, it's a 21. So after that, you remove the top motor mount, and of course you want to put the jack on the oil pan so you can support the engine. If not, it's gonna drop. So then after that, you're gonna lift the engine up, and then I'll show you how to do the middle mount. One more thing guys, so here's the middle mount. I don't know if you can see it. It's down there. Whenever this thing is coming up, you want to pry the motor a little bit so it can come off and it won't get stuck. If not, you're gonna have problems coming in, you know, getting it out of there. So when you lift the motor up, you want to be careful with, I don't know if you can see it, but you have a radiator fan right here, and it will hit the AC compressor. Make sure you just stop before you hit the connection, if not you can break it. You have plenty of room in the firewall still on the stock turbo. Big turbo guys will have to move the motor forward and then raise it up, and then they have a bigger chance of breaking the connector, so you can always unplug it and then you'll be good to go. And then also make sure the axle, you know, won't pop. If it pops, you can always line it up, put it back in, and the boot whenever rip. So let me go ahead and take the side plate. You're gonna use a 15 millimeter socket shallow. But before that, we're going way too fast. We need to take the bolts for the power steering pump. They're down there. They look like this one. So when it's lifted, you can get an extension like this with a swivel, and you get it through here like that. And then you can take them off. Alright guys, now that you got the 3 bolts off, this one won't come out. This one you pull it out. And then this one, move it out a little bit. And take this one out. And that's when the fun part begins. Have to lift it up like that. You also have, if you still have your OEM middle mount, you're gonna have this. If you remove it, you know, it gets against this. If you remove it, you get more space. Then you just kind of wiggle the lines, the AC lines. Twist it, bam, get it out. So then after that, you got 1, 2, and you got one more here, 3. 8mm bolts to take this cover, and then you got 1, 2, and 2 on the bottom to take this one. So let's go ahead and do those. Out. Be careful with the lip right here. You get stuck on the back. Then this one. There you go. Now let's do the timing bell. Take off the timing bell and the tensioner. Since I'm doing the water pump, I have to take the 2 pulleys or the cam gears and this plate on the back so I can get into the water pump. If you're just doing the timing bell, then you just loose this up, take it out, put the new one in. Of course, you want to put it on time before you take it off, and then you're good to go. All right guys, before removing the timing bell, you want to put it on time. So pretty much those things needs to be up. These 2 lines need to line up. And then of course the one all the way on the crank right here, the triangle, has to meet with the triangle on the oil pump. So like that you know you're on time. So you can use 2 18s on the top, just like this, and just move it to when it's on time. So pretty much almost dead on, but as long as it's close enough like that, then we're good to go. So if you're gonna do the water pump, before you take the timing bell off, you want to lose these 2 bolts. So like that the timing bell will hold it and you don't have to worry about, you know, moving or slipping or whatever. So those are 2 18s with a swivel. Works pretty good. Now we need a 13 for this one, and then we can remove the timing bell. Loosen it up. push it down, and voila. You take this off. This one's out. Now you can take these two off. That's 4, and then you got 2 more on the bottom, 13s. So let's get those. Alright, now let's do the water pump. So it's 4 bolts total. 1, 2, 1 on the bottom, and 3. On this one you can put a socket. So you get you a thin wrench or whatever. So you don't have to take the tensioner off. And then take that one first. This is more like more pain in the ass. So and then the other 3 are a lot easier. I just know what I did with my tent.
Why did it go, George? Why did it go?
That's right. So let's do the one that we can see. Check the bottom. No top, thumbs off. There you go. Now we're gonna clean all this, so like that when we put the new one, you don't got any problems leaking or gasket not seating right. So a little wire wheel, a little anything to clean all that stuff will work. On the water pump, what I do is, since the gasket don't stay there, I use a little bit of silicone, just put it on the corners. So when you put in the water pump, the gasket won't come off, and then you got a big chance of pinching the gasket or whatever. So you put a little bit of silicone on the 4 corners, and you put the gasket in there, and now the gasket will stay. So also, since this car it's not like completely flat on the water pump surface, I'm gonna put just a little bit of silicone, just a little bit. Oh, by the way, I use these 2 things. It's like a sandpaper, and then I don't know why you call this, but clean it up with these 2. But I don't know if you can tell, it's pretty rough. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of silicone all the way around, not much, just to prevent any leakage. You want to put some silicone and smear all the way, so like that you don't have any silicone squeezing out whenever you put the water pump in. I always done this when like I say, that I see that it's not completely flat, or because you don't want to be doing this job twice just because it's leaking a little bit through the gasket. So you put it all the way around, but like I said, it's just minimum. You can even see the metal on the bottom of the silicone, like it's not even that much. You do that, you get 2 bolts. And then as you can see, the gasket's staying. Just make sure it's lined up, and then go ahead and slide it in. And of course you're gonna grab the easy bolts first, which is this one. And you wanna hand tie it all the way so it won't come off, because now that you have the silicone, the gasket will stick to it. Go. And we got two more. So then we have this one. What is that? This is the one that you can see that goes on the bottom. It's always good to tighten it on, you know, like corners. You want to do this one, then that one, then this one, then the bottom one, or vice versa. That one, and then the two on the side. So let's do this one, which is easy. Bolts, I think they're like 10 foot-pounds or whatever. So pretty much just snug, and then like a quarter of a turn. You know, you drive it all the way in. I've done this too many times that I just know how. And then we have the last one, which, like I said, you can put a gas socket on it. That's the water pump. Now we're gonna do the tensioner, because you do need to do this before you put the cover. So you're gonna put your bolt. You wanna use one of the bolts from the bracket just to line it up. Just like that. And then you're gonna use your 15 and tighten it up. This one you wanna tighten it pretty good. If you need torque specs, I can give you torque specs, but you have to make sure that this thing is tight. Just like that. And then you remove the bolt. And we are pretty much good to go on the cover. You want to put a little bit of thread lock on the bolts for the timing cover. Just a little bit, not too much. Especially this one, because it's the red one. It's a lot stronger. If you can use blue one, it's better for this. So hand tie. Now we have the two 13s right on the bottom. This ones, since they're bigger, you don't really have to put any thread lock, but if you want, you can. This one, you do want to put some thread lock, just a little bit. That's a 17. That. Make sure you put it 2.4 out. I don't think they can go the other way, because it will hit the plate. And again, if you got the tool to hold the cam gears and all that stuff, you can go ahead and do that, and then, you know, get the torque spec. I got this Big Daddy will do the work. Like that. Then we put it on time. That one always gonna be loaded. This one is gonna be free. So now let's go do the timing belt. You're gonna drop it to the top. Like that. All right. You wanna make sure you're all the way in on the crank. Looking at my timing. Looks pretty good. You're gonna pass it through here, through the water pump, then to the idlet, and then it's gonna have a little bit of slack, because we're gonna have to move this thing. What you can do is put it on time, like that. This belt is really tight to go on the tensioner, but I got it. I just kind of like pry a little bit here, slide it in, good to go. So now we have it on time. I don't know if you can see, but that's on time. We're on time on the bottom. So now we're gonna tighten the tensioner, and we should be pretty good to go. So you're gonna use a 1/4-inch ratchet, put on the little square, and you're gonna pull just some tension. You don't want to go crazy because then you're gonna pass to the other side and it's not gonna be good. Kind of like a was like a 45 angle down. While you're holding it, you're gonna tighten the 13. Tighten it pretty good so it won't come loose. That's it. Timing belt's on. We're good here. We're good there. We're good to go. Now you can do a whole 360 just to make sure the timing is good and it goes back to the same position, or you can just go ahead and, you know, just put it on and send it. But just for the video, let's see if we can turn it. Obviously without the spark plug it would be a lot easier. Pretty much dead on. And you can't really tell, but the crank is also dead on. So now let's put the bottom plate or the bottom cover, and then we'll do the bracket on the side, and then we'll do the top one and we'll go from there. Fun part. So you're gonna put this one without bolt already in there, and you're gonna sideways behind the timing belt on there. And then you're gonna have to pass that one down. Let me switch the camera. So you're gonna have to push this back a little bit, then slide it in. Just like that. Boom, that's it, it's in. So before you tighten any bolt, you want to slide the one on the bottom. That one. And this one. That's it. The plate is in. Alright guys, when you're dropping the motor back down, you need to make sure that, let me get a screwdriver, that the mount is not under the plate, because if not, it's gonna get stuck and you can break the mount or whatever. I don't know if you can see it, but that's the mount and that's the two little guys where they're gonna go on the plate. So you want to use a long screwdriver, a pry bar or whatever to line it up before going all the way down. So I'm gonna raise it up more, then I'm gonna use my screwdriver and like pry it like that. And then I'm gonna drop it a little bit with the screwdriver in there. And just double check. Come back, move the motor forward, down a little bit more. Now I can go ahead and pull my screwdriver. There you go. You heard that click? That's what the mount is. So now, as you can see, the mount is in the bracket, sitting pretty good. So now we just need to line it up right here, put the one bolt, and then tap on the other mounts. See, it's almost there. A little more up. You wanna grab your bolt. It works. Make sure it's not cross-thread or anything. Pretty good. One is done. So now we do the top mount. Then we line up the bottom and we'll put everything back together. Alright guys, now we're gonna put the harmonic balancer. I'm gonna put a little bit of lube to make it a little bit easier to go in. Just a little bit. Then I'm gonna use the special tool. It doesn't have the part number, but it's pretty much to install the harmonic balancer into the motor. So it's something like this. I have to add some washers because the the thread is not long enough, and you know, it wouldn't work. So now I do it this way. So let's put it in the car. That's it. You can see how the motor's moving. Then you just gonna double check and make sure that you don't have, it's kind of hard, but no gap between the crank and the pulley, which is pretty flush on down. Now you can go ahead and install the crank bolt with a little bit of, if you got blue thread lock, and like this, you're just gonna put a little bit on the top, put it on, torque it down, then you're good to go. Then after that, all you have to do is put the belt. You're pretty much done. I mean, I'm pretty sure after that, everybody knows how to do the dry belts, the you know, AC belt, and the alternator belt. Like I say, make sure you put some thread lock on this one, and then put on the crank, torque it down. Always make sure that the harmonic balance is flush. So like that, this thing will come loose, and then, you know, you lose the bolt, you lose the harmonic balance, and make a big old damage. I hope you liked the video. I'm gonna try to do more how-tos. I have this job to do today. So if you have any questions, let me know. If you need some torque specs or whatever, you can find everything online, Google, whatever. But this is pretty much the basics, or not the basics, but how to do the timing belt at your house without a lift. I'll show you the hardest part, which is taking the little plate on the side of the motor. That's the hardest part to do. After that, everything else is pretty much cake. I hope you enjoyed the video. I want to give a big shout out to my boy Henry. He's the one editing the videos, doing the whole, you know, funny things and all that stuff. So shout out to him. Y pues para la raza en español, ahí me disculpan, pero se me fue la onda, andaba bien atorado con el motorcito este, pero pues ahí si me quieren mandar una pregunta o algo que no hayan agarrado en el video, me avisan, se las explico. Pero esto es más o menos para decirles cómo hacer la banda de tiempo y la bomba de agua en el neón SRT4, que viene siendo casi lo mismo que la PT Cruiser, pero tiene un poquito menos de espacio la PT Cruiser. Y el neón también, el normalito, el que tiene los dos árboles de levas, también tiene una placa así en un lado también. Más o menos lo mismo, pero cualquier pregunta que tengan de la instalación o de dónde comprar el kit, todo ese rollo, ahí nomás pónganme en los comments, díganme. Y ahí disculpa, pero te digo, lo tuve que hacer así de volada para poner otro video. Y pero como les digo, nomás mándenme una pregunta o algo y yo les contesto. Igual están haciendo el trabajo, yo les ayudo, les digo cómo lo hagan. Pero pues ahí más o menos en el video sale todo, cómo hacerlo, las herramientas que necesitan. Algunas herramientas las tienes que rentar en algún AutoZone o los Rileys o lo que sea. O si las quieres comprar, pero pues más o menos ahí también las puse en la descripción del video. Entonces pues más o menos para que se den una idea. Es una para quitarla, la pulley, porque está prensada prácticamente en el cigüeñal. Y la otra es para instalarla, para que no se dañe el cigüeñal tampoco. Entonces ojalá les haya gustado el video. Ahí por favor háganle like, subscribe, comenten, háganle share, todo lo que quieran. So thank you guys. I hope you like the video. Please like, subscribe and comment. Thank you.